Hello, Toy Collector fans, Universal Toy Collector here, and welcome to the channel. And welcome to another episode of My Collecting Life, the series where I get to chat with you, members of the toy collecting community, about your own personal collections, finding out what got you into collecting in the first place, and what gives you that toy collecting buzz. Okie dokie then, you lot. So here we are once again then for another episode of My Collecting Life. And I'm guessing the question on everybody's lips is, who is the guest on this week's episode? Well, why don't we all find out? Go grab yourselves a cuppa, sit yourselves down, put your feet up and make yourselves comfortable while we all take a goosey gander at some of the collection in a musical montage. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen, how about that for a collection and a display? Absolutely fantastic. Lots of retro goodness in there, including things like Dick Tracy, the Turtles, Roger Rabbit. You've got some Marvel and DC, and you've got some old Sega games as well. It's a pleasure to welcome to the channel for the first time Nicky, also known as Retrobunga. Hello, sir. How are
Thank you
you?
very much for having us, Stu. Really good to be here, mate. Really good.
No,
Thank you.
it's an absolute pleasure. And the funny thing is, we're just talking, weren't we? And we seem to have been at the same places at the same time, but never
Yes,
quite managed to bump
never
into
bump.
each other.
First time I spoke to you, so it's good to meet you. Good to obviously I've watched your videos and stuff like that, and I'm looking forward to being here. So thank you very
Oh
much.
no, looking forward to finding out a little bit more about you. So, as you said before, you know a little bit about the series. So
Yep,
basically, I've got 10 questions for you, all about you and your collection.
no
And
worries.
yeah, run time roughly about an hour if we go over. That's all right. It's
Yep,
not an issue, is it? No problems.
no
So
problem
when
at
you're
all.
ready, sir, we'll crack on.
Yep, go for it. What's
All
the
good.
first one?
Right. The first one. What toy lines were you into as a kid, and what memories do you have of those toy lines?
So the first toys that I actually remember playing with me dad and my granddad was sort of like into westerns, bit of sort of like John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and stuff like that. So my first one was like a full cowboys, Indians, knights, that kind of thing. Was when I
Oh,
was
yeah,
really
yeah.
young. That was the first thing, and then straight away, like a lot of people, straight into the Turtles, the Ghostbusters, the Dick Tracy stuff like that. That's what I went from there. Really enjoy as well. You know, the WWF, the Hasbro's.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed playing with them as a kid. Had the ring and stuff like that. I actually found them a little while ago. My mum found them up in the loft. But what I did, the big mistake I did was I used like a felt tip pen and put like blood on it and stuff like that. It's a bit of action.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and now you get it out, it's still got the blood on it, and it's geez. But obviously at that time, I'm only young. I'm watching it on the TV with that and doing it, so I've
Yeah,
ruined
yeah.
them all. So, but that my collection's is turtles and wrestling was my favourite things. But starting off with Cowboys.
I find it interesting you say about the Cowboys because back in the day, I mean,
Yeah,
I was probably I was like born in the 70s and grew up late 70s, early 80s. We had Cowboys and Indian stuff like that. You used to be able to get the cowboy hats, the waistcoats, the
that's
sheriff's
it.
badge. You used to get the guns. And is that the sort of stuff you had as well?
Yeah, big time. I was really into my westerns. Loved the John
Wow.
Waynes,
Yeah.
loved the Clint Eastwoods and all that. Only because my granddad, obviously, on a Sunday, your dad used to put on the cowboy film, and you couldn't
Yeah, yeah.
you couldn't turn it over because obviously dad was in charge of what we was watching. So you just had, put up with it, get into your cowboys, you get into your films, and obviously go from there. But what was good, he gave me like he got me a little fault, the baddies, the goodies, the cowboys, the Indians, and all that sort of stuff, and I
Oh,
loved it.
geez.
I loved
Yeah, yeah.
playing like the attack in the fault and stuff like that was and then we went over to the Knights and things like that. I was really into Knights. So
Did you have
yeah,
the, were they the little die cast ones?
I have. I have to send you a photo. Actually, my mum and dad found them. They actually moved about a year ago. It was up in the
Yeah.
loft and found it. I've got the whole lot. All my horses, all my
Wow.
cowboys, all my Indians. I was so excited when they told me. Really excited.
Yeah, because
So
I remember having like a wooden fort when I was younger, sort of
yeah,
thing,
that's it.
as a
Yeah.
playset and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Ah, that's
and
insane, man. That's
the
insane.
knights, the horses had like little metal, like green metal, used to stand on them. I see them at the toy fairs
That's
now
it.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah,
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 the
yeah.
green, the metal and stuff like that. So, but yeah, and then obviously Ghostbusters, any '80s film. I was born in '83, so all the
Right.
'80s movies I was into. Obviously Turtles, and then went over to the '90s as well, just before I became a teenager.
Yeah, because with the Turtles and the real Ghostbusters and stuff like that, I was sort of like growing out of well, I'll say growing out of I kind of played Subbuteo up until the age of
Yes.
18, 19 because it was a
Yeah.
football game, so of course I was mad,
Yeah.
and that's basically, all you had as a football game then. I know you had your, like, your
That's it.
computers and stuff like that or your game, boxes, like was it not
Yeah.
Atari? Bloody hell, what come out then? Nintendo and stuff like that. You
Nintendo.
had your
Yeah.
Nintendo systems and stuff like that, but I preferred the physical play of stuff like
Did you
that,
have
so I
the
was playing.
stadium? Did you have the stadium, the
No, I never had the
AstroTurf and all
stadium.
that?
Never had the
No?
stadium, no. I had the
No.
AstroTurf, and I had the
Yeah.
fencing that went around it and the scoreboard and stuff like that, and I
Yeah.
just had the teams. But
Gotcha.
when it come to things like the Turtles, and I mean, I remember seeing them in the shops, but I wasn't really that sort of interested in them,
Oh, okay, you went into
sort of
I
thing.
see you more like
No.
Star Wars. Is it Star Wars G.I. Joe's your style, isn't it
Yeah,
more?
yeah, because that was the kind of thing that I grew up with in the early
Yeah.
'80s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Star Wars, and then you had Motu, who had Transformers on top of that as well. So
Yeah.
anything I think after what was it? Like, yeah, Turtles, and what was the other one as well? Power Rangers. I
Power.
didn't go
That
into any
one
of that
that
sort
was
of
the
stuff.
next era after me. I must admit, that was my brother's.
Oh,
My
was it?
brother's 5 years younger, so that was my brother's era, the Power Rangers, so
Yeah.
and all that. So, but yeah, that was just after me. So.
So what sort of memories do you have then, like for Christmases or birthdays and stuff like that?
Oh, there's nothing. There was as a kid. What? How magical was Christmas? Like you getting
Yeah.
excited. There was nothing better than getting the Argos book, circling what you wanted and
Oh
things. I
my
loved
God, yeah.
Christmas. Christmas
Yeah.
Eve, like struggling to get to sleep and stuff like that, and sort of Santa. And then you wake up, you got your toys are there and stuff like that. I loved it. So. In terms of obviously the toys was always the turtles, the Ghostbusters car. Normally it was like the bigger things, like your mum would get your little figure here and there, but it was like the
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
things, like it was like the lands and stuff like the cars and the
Yeah.
bases and stuff like that was more what I got at Christmas time. And also, I was into like Mega Drive and Game Gear at that time, so I normally got a lot of
Yeah.
computer games as well. So, and Game Gear was
Yeah.
my first console. That was good for like in the car driving like my mum and dad. But the batteries, as we all know, those batteries are murder. They didn't last long. That Game Gear. The
God, I remember the old Game Boy because I remember
Game
that
Gear.
like the Nintendo system when that first come out, and with me and my friend, we'd spend hours playing the golf game and stuff like that. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's pretty good. Didn't mind that at all. Didn't mind that at
I
all.
love all that. I loved all that. So
Yeah. And what about Saturday morning like TV? Because I know
oh,
back in the 80s,
what?
you had like the
Yeah,
G.I. Joe cartoons, the Transformers, He-Man
yeah,
and the Master of the Universe, Thundercats and stuff like that.
yeah.
Again, it was at that time, sort of like the later end of the 80s, the early 90s. I didn't really
Mm.
sort of like watch too much animated series
No,
on the
you
television
didn't
because I
watch it.
thought
No.
I'd
What
grown out
about
of it. No.
Rugrats?
Oh,
Rugrats.
well, yeah, of course, you got to watch Rugrats. I mean,
Rugrats.
yeah, you got to make an exception for that,
That
yeah.
was super. I've got a little question for you then. What cartoon had the best theme song where you thought, yeah, I'm locked in. You've got my full attention. What cartoon got you?
Oh,
Like
do you know what?
Rugrats. That was
I
quite good.
wouldn't call it a cartoon. It was something called Starfleet X Bomber,
Okay. Yeah.
and it was all puppets. It was puppetry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like this massive ship, and it was like had a massive X at the back, hence why it's
Yeah.
called X Bomber. And they fly these little ships that come off that ship, and then they form like a big robot. And I think it was
Gotcha.
like a Japanese type sort of thing. But the theme
Yeah.
tune to that, I thought this is absolutely superb. Yeah, yeah, really
Yeah.
liking this. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of Battlestar Galactica, the
Yes.
1970s Battlestar
Yeah.
Galactica, that kind of thing with the big
Gotcha.
imperial ships that the
Yeah.
enemy like fly around in and stuff like that. Yeah, that was brilliant. So that was me, Star Fleet X Bomber.
I like it. In terms of if I thought of space and stuff like that, my first memory of space. You ready? Button Moon. Do you remember Button Moon?
I do. We're off the
Button Moon.
button
That
moon.
was like my
Come
real. We're
follow
talking
Mr.
real early
Spoon.
memories.
Button moon. Yeah,
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 Button Moon. It had a really good song, but I don't remember it too well in terms of like the stories or stuff like that. But I remember loving it, and we're talking really young, really young. That was my first sort of. If
yeah.
you said to me
God,
Saturday mornings, that was the start, and obviously Rugrats, Turtles, and Inspector Gadget. I love all that sort of stuff. That was
God,
all
yeah.
a lot of
Inspector
me.
Gadget. Yeah, yeah.
I actually want to get some Inspector Gadget toys as well. Some of them are
Okay.
pricey though. When you see them, because I quite like my carded toys. They've got some prices on them. I must admit, it's like we're talking
Yeah,
200
yeah.
plus, so which is a shame.
When you were younger, did you think the turtles would be as big as they are? I mean, they're
Oh,
huge, like with the movie
they were
franchises and stuff
massive,
like
weren't
that.
they?
The
It
toy
was the
line is very
movies.
expansive, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was the movies as well. Absolutely
Yeah,
loved the movies, the Ooze and the Secret of the Ooze and the first one. Those films were like going to the cinema as a kid. You was excited. You had your popcorn, your big drink, and stuff like that. It was a lot. I'm very pleased I grew up in that era and not today's era, with where everyone's talking, got their cameras, like their phones out and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like the cinema
yeah.
now, I do not go cinema anymore. No way,
I
I cannot handle it. Cannot
It's
handle
hard
it.
work, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
don't
there's hardly
enjoy it.
anybody in there, and the people that are in there, they're on their
Yeah,
phones.
they're on their
It
phones.
that
I
makes
can't
sense.
handle it. But
Yeah.
back then, do you remember, like in terms of Cool Runnings, the film Cool Runnings? I love
Yeah,
seeing that
yeah,
Cool Runnings. That like I remember I went there for a birthday once, so it's Cool Runnings. My mum took a load of friends and stuff like that. Back in the day, I loved the cinema. Really loved the cinema.
yeah.
So,
It's expensive now as well, isn't it?
oh, I'm a dread of it. Yeah, the prices are
Yeah.
massive. So,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
myself and Georgie, we've been to well, other than this year and COVID or last year and COVID,
yeah,
we've been to the cinema every Christmas Eve. It's like a kind of tradition sort of thing. But
yes,
there
yeah,
was no real film that we wanted to see last
no,
year, so we saved ourselves a bit of money because we normally go down to Blue Water.
gotcha.
But the thing is, you go there and it's 40 odd quid for the tickets for
Mm,
the two of us. And
yeah,
then you've got your drinks and your little snacks on top of that as
yeah,
well. So it can work out about 50, 60 quid just for two
I
people to go
agree.
and watch the film.
Yeah, yeah, they take the mick,
You
and
know?
then you've got the people talking and ruining it for you. So you might as well wait for it to
Yeah,
come out on the old DVD or Netflix or whatever. Definitely.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. What was your favorite toy line as a kid and why?
Right, so the two favourites straight. Well, obviously my name's Retrobunga, so straight away I've got to do the turtles. It was,
Yeah.
everything about it, fighting them, collecting them, getting all the different side, like getting Shredder and stuff like that as well. I loved it. I had sort of like all the toy, like the extra toys, the bases and stuff like that. I loved all that. Loved it, and
Yeah.
the New York Street. Then I had like a pizza restaurant that they went to and stuff like that. That was magical, magical. I love anything sort of turtles I'm into, and obviously
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. I was really into me Ghostbusters as well. From the little figures, the action figures. So like the gun, you used to put it on the wall, and then there'd be a monster. Like if you was in the
Oh,
dark,
right.
you put
Yeah.
it on the wall,
Yeah.
and it put like Slimer up on the wall and stuff like that. I loved all that. So and then Nickelodeon toys as well with the ooze and the slime. Every kid loves all that sort of stuff as well. So
Yeah.
that that
Yeah.
that was big for me. But my main thing is turtles. I'd say the number two would be the wrestlers, collecting Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Big Boss Man, all the classics from that era. And
Yeah.
obviously, it was very hard to watch it then as well because we didn't have Sky or anything like that. So we used to get tape recording. My dad used to get tape recordings from people at work to show me it and stuff like that. So, but collected all the magazines, the wrestling magazines. You
Yeah.
remember the
Yeah.
WWF magazines?
Yeah.
Collected all them and knew what the latest news and stuff from there. So, but wrestling and obviously the cards. Do you remember those blue? I've got a set up there, actually, complete set. The wrestling WWF cards, the little blue ones, there with a figure with a. I used to collect them at school and obviously swapping
Okay.
all them about. So
Okay.
I love me cards. Like
Right. Yeah.
gladiators. Remember
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
gladiators
Yeah.
and football
Yeah. Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Like the little
Yeah. I know
sticker
the ones you mean.
books
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and the scrambles in the playground. Say if a kid had loads of like they had loads of doubles, they
Yeah.
just scramble it and it's like bundle to get all the freebies, if you know what I
Oh,
mean.
that brings back some days, doesn't it?
Good times,
Well,
good
ours
time.
is
Oh,
me.
at the
I
same
mean,
time, you're playing Conkers.
oh, Conkers as well.
Do you
God,
remember
yeah. Gee, I mean,
Conkers?
that's yeah, yeah. Well, you're not allowed to play that anymore. Are you?
I
Got to
was
wear a
about to say,
safety
do
helmet
they
and
are they allowed to
you
play
got,
that anymore?
well, you
Do
got
you
to wear
ever put it in
safety
vinegar?
glasses and a safety helmet now, haven't you? And
Oh no,
gloves. Health and
did you put
safety.
yours in the vinegar?
Yeah, of course I
Remember, you
did.
used to put it in the
Yeah,
vinegar, make it
yeah,
stronger. It never made it stronger. It never worked, but in your head, it worked. Big
yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah. And then you
big
get
time.
called cheater, cheater. You bank
Yes.
tools or something like that. Cheater.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
remember when
yeah,
people were like, "Oh, this has won 113," because you used to take their sort of results. If you beat
yeah.
someone who's won 113, your one was 113. Oh yeah, mine's 270, as if they've
Oh,
counted
is it?
270
No,
going.
God, blimey, no, we never did that. We'd smash it. It'd be
Oh
like a
yeah,
1-0, a 2-0, a 3-0 and stuff like that. And then
yeah,
if someone's got a new conquer and it beats your conquer, theirs is
yeah.
then a onesie and stuff like
That's
that.
it.
So
That's
it's
what I mean.
yeah,
But my lot
yeah,
used to must be the error I was brought up there. Everyone lied. It was 270 or 113 gate like fights and stuff like that. So
yeah. I'd
it
be
was all,
surprised if
all
a
pun.
conquer lasts that long. I mean,
No,
yeah,
it
it'd be
was they were
interesting.
talking rubbish, absolute rubbish.
So with the turtles, then, what was it about the
Yeah.
turtles that really stood out for you and made it shine above everything else back in that
I
time
think it was the
period?
characters. You got a good mixture. Obviously, you got different personalities on each turtle. My favourite was Donatello on that side, and Michelangelo I liked as well. It's the different characters. April O'Neil coming in with a new
Yeah,
support. Obviously, the baddies are fantastic with Shredder and stuff like that. So, and it was the action, the fighting, the battling, and every day they're trying to save the world. That was what it was about. So, and obviously the movies, when the movies come out,
yeah.
I loved the movies back then. I love pizza. I don't have anchovies or
Who
anything like
doesn't?
that in the pizzas, but
No,
yeah.
no,
So,
no, 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 no,
so
no
obviously
anchovies, mate.
the
No, or
the
pineapple.
pizzas.
No
That's
pineapple.
it. Did you have a favourite turtle at all?
I no,
Not a favourite. I
I,
know
I
obviously turtle wasn't your thing,
no.
but if you picked, would you have one?
If I oh God,
So you
Raphael
got
then I guess.
which one?
Raph.
Raph, yeah, Raph. He's like the stroppy one, isn't he? He's the
Oh,
stroppy
was
one
he? Oh,
out of all of them.
that would
So
be me
yeah,
down to a T then. Yeah, yeah,
fair
brilliant,
play. He was the
brilliant.
stroppy one, but he
But
says it
it's
how it
really
is. I
weird
like it.
because I even now I won't start collecting turtles for the simple fact is because I'm one of those people who will dive into something and then go,
Yeah,
yeah, I like that, I like that, I like that.
yeah,
And the turtles line is absolutely huge. It's quite a frightening toy line
yeah.
to
Oh,
collect.
it's
There's
shocking,
so much of
shocking.
it.
Yeah, Yeah, I bought two actually at the weekend. Down the first time I've ever went. You know the Enfield. Have you ever been there? The London
Yes, I
Toy
saw
Fair.
your video. I saw your
Oh, thank you
video.
for
Yeah.
watching. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problems,
First time
man.
I've ever been is straight. I walked in and there was a shop you'd have seen by the video. The
Yeah.
turtle shop, straight in, straight over. Loved it and picked up your two
Well, you
first
picked
cardies
yourself up some.
turtles.
Yeah, you did. You picked up some nice stuff there, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I'm
Yeah.
very. I got the baseball one and the sailor one, the sailor one. So
Yeah.
very
But that wasn't
happy with
it.
that.
That wasn't just it, though, was it? You come back with something else, didn't you?
Oh, well, I can't come back with a few bits. I must admit, a few hours murder, and bless them. It was the first time I ever went, and they were giving me free stuff, and they were so welcoming, so welcoming. I
Yeah.
loved it there, loved it. Have
Because
you
you
been
picked the
there a few
van up, didn't
times?
you? No, I haven't. I haven't.
No, you've never been.
No, no. It's one place I'd like to go to. Actually, I
It's
need to get
twice
round
a
to
month
go.
they do it. I'll probably go once a month now. It was that
Yeah.
nice and different stores because you've got the stores on the outside and you've got the stalls in the middle with all the different retro toys and stuff like that. Real
Oh
good
wow.
mixture. So
Oh
loved
cool.
it. Yeah, definitely be going
Yeah,
back.
because you come
Have to
back with
meet
a
you there.
Turtles van, didn't you? Turtles van.
That's it. Yeah, come back with the Turtles van. Yeah, big day, and it was boxed as well, so I'm well happy.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know. I saw
waiting for
that.
my
Yeah,
mum
yeah.
to. I wanted a good box with it. So, but they're quite pricey though. We're talking sort of 80 to 120. You see them for they're mental. The
I
prices.
mean, to be fair, I mean this day and age, 80 to 120 quid. I don't think that's too bad,
Yeah.
considering considering the age of the toy. When you're looking at
Yes.
toys that
Yes.
are like, say, a lot younger than that and have been
Yeah.
more recent, they're going for the same
Yeah.
price. I'm talking about TVC. Some of the
Yeah.
prices that they're asking for some of the figures in TVC is
Yeah.
is quite rude, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
No, no, I agree. I
yeah.
agree. I actually went retro shopping today. Went down to the old Nerd Base. You like Nerd Base?
I've been to Nerd Base a couple of times. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
down the old Battles Bridge. So I popped down there. It's dangerous because you go on like, Instagram and then they post something up there, and I work for myself, so I can leave and go there. So straight away, I've whizzed straight down there. It's Dick Tracy ones. More
Oh, hang on a
obviously, I
minute.
collect.
Let's get you large, man.
Let's
Let's have
get
a
the
look at
big
that.
one. So I really collect Dick Tracy's. You can see
Where,
behind
where's it
me,
gone? There he is.
but they've got I've got quite a few there. They had a
They're nice, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good card, really good on card, which is what I
Yeah, yeah.
collect and stuff like that. So whiz down this. It's been an expensive day, I must admit.
I
It's
can
been
imagine.
I need to sell some stuff. You know, like you buy and sell, buy and sell. So I've got to sort of try and find some things to balance the books, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you buy and sell?
I try to,
Yeah.
obviously, because it's
No,
getting into the carded. What about yourself?
no, no, I buy and hoard.
You buy and hold.
Yeah, yeah.
Dangerous, very
Yeah,
dangerous,
it is absolutely,
very
absolutely.
dangerous.
When it comes to wrestling, and I've said this a lot, but as a kid, I never ever remember seeing any wrestling
Wow.
figures in the shops as a kid.
Okay.
I just cannot remember seeing any wrestling figures.
Tesco's.
No,
Tesco's where I used
no.
to see them.
Well, I mean, they more than likely were there, but I never
Yeah,
ever, because I think I must have been so tunnel visioned and seeing the things that I was interested in,
got
like your
ya.
Star Wars, your GI Joe, or
Yeah,
your Transformers,
you
Motu,
weren't really
that kind of stuff,
looking.
Mask. I know, but that's really weird. But now you go into somewhere like an Entertainer or a Smiths, and they've got massive walls full of them,
Too
full
many,
of wrestling.
too many now. That's the problem. There's all different collections and stuff like that. It kills it a little bit for me. So no,
Yeah,
I like the original Hasbro's and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I agree with you. They are everywhere, aren't they? And again, Tesco,
yeah,
Sainsbury's, Asda's, wherever you go shopping, they're there. There was loads in Nerd Base today. Poled up of them. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Do you know many of the people at Nerd Base? Just out of interest.
I don't know them personally, but obviously I'm in there a lot, so I'm always talking to them. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
there's
But
a young lady that works here called Caitlin.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah,
Caitlin collects or Collector Caitlin
yeah.
and stuff like that. So she come on the 24-hour charity live stream on the
Ah,
last
fair play.
panel, and she was actually at work. She was, she's sitting in there having a
No
like break and
way.
stuff like that. So she jumped on, yeah.
She's actually
And
there.
Caitlin's been on an episode of this as well. She's a lovely girl, absolutely
That's good to know.
superb,
I have been
really
served by
bubbly.
a lady on a Saturday. Actually, I don't know if she works just
Oh, it might have
weekends, but
been
it was a
Saturday,
Saturday.
Sundays that she
Yeah,
does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, she's a
I've
nice,
seen it.
nice girl. Yeah, nice girl. Um, with again back to wrestling.
Yeah,
The thing that put me off, because I didn't know anything about WWE, WF, or
gotcha.
the American wrestling, because we didn't, like you say, didn't get it
It's
in the
hard,
UK.
hard to get,
It
wasn't it?
was really,
Hard.
yeah, yeah. So I grew up with Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks and those
Yes,
kind of
in
wrestlers and stuff
England.
like that.
Yeah,
And you seeing those kind of guys in spandex or tight lycra and stuff like that, it was
big old
not
men, weren't
really
they?
appealing. It's like,
They
yeah,
were big
no,
old
I'm not really
boys,
into
and they
that,
were a lot
but they were.
slower
But
as well.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a totally different style of wrestling, isn't it? The British
I
wrestling back
totally
in the
agree.
day to the American
Yeah.
stuff.
my granddad had some tapes on that back then. I used to watch his tapes of all them lot, the UK ones. So, but it was very boring. For me, it was very boring. It wasn't so
Yeah,
electrifying and stuff like that. And so, jumping off the top ropes and the storylines just wasn't there. But probably because I didn't see it as much as what I did the American ones. So maybe I would have got into the storyline more if I seen
yeah.
more tapes and stuff of
I,
it, because it
I
weren't.
think I mean. Sorry, go on. Sorry,
No,
my
I was
my
just
bad.
say it went on TV from what I could see. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was around the mid-90s, 94,
yeah,
95, when I actually started, like, being aware of it, and that was basically down to the British Bulldog.
gotcha. Yes, the British
So,
Bulldog.
yeah,
Bless him, he
yeah,
passed away, didn't he? I think he had a
he
heart
has,
attack. A
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
them died. A lot of them died, didn't they?
yeah,
Bless them. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
the British Bulldog and stuff. So how did you get into Star Wars? Just by watching the movies and stuff like that? How did you get into it?
I was I was too young to go and watch the original Star Wars. Apparently, I went to go and see Empire Strikes Back, but couldn't remember it. So I think it was one Christmas around about that time, 1980, with The Empire Strikes Back. I remember getting like an X-wing and a Tie Fighter,
Yeah,
and Luke Pilot and Darth Vader for Christmas one
yeah,
year. I think it was 1980, and I was like, oh yeah, these are great, these are great. So it kind of got me into that, and then of course, I was getting into more, seeing the adverts on the TV and stuff like that, and then
yeah,
went to go and watch Return of the Jedi. So it was 1983. It was is when it really sort of like kicked off, and the
yeah.
excitement and the figures and the vehicles and stuff like that. And it's always been my main go-to. It really
Okay,
has.
yeah,
I just love. I love the story. I love the music. I love the visual effects. I love the
yeah.
characters.
Mm.
And
Who's your favourite character?
it's got to be Han Solo, isn't it? I mean,
That's
everybody wanted to
yeah.
be Han Solo as a kid. Everybody
Fair
wanted to
play.
be Han Solo as a kid. So it was.
Yeah,
But I just. And then when I go back and watch like the Empire of Dreams and how they made it and stuff like that as well, it's just like,
yeah.
just
You love it.
incredible. It really is. It
What
was
about the
great.
more
But then they
recent
had
stuff?
loads of decent stuff back those days.
What about the more recent stuff? What's your thoughts on the latest films and what they're doing on Disney Plus and stuff like that? What's your review on that?
Well, well.
Not good. Have I upset?
Well, it's not ideal, is it? I mean, I've got mixed reactions about it. I mean, you know, I can't criticize everything Disney's done because they've done some good stuff. Mandalorian
Yeah,
season 1 and 2 was pretty decent. Andor was good. Looking forward to season 2 of Andor.
yeah,
Um, I like the animated stuff that they're doing. I like Clone Wars season 7.
yeah.
I thought the ending of Clone Wars season 7 was absolutely stunning. It was
Gotcha.
fantastic with
Yeah,
Vader coming down, and you got all those like helmets and stuff like that of the clone troopers,
yeah,
and then Ahsoka's lightsaber and stuff like that. I just thought that was brilliant. But a lot of the stuff, I just think it's um, quantity over quality.
yes. The
They're getting
money.
the wrong people into right. Anyway, we're not talking about me.
No,
This is about
no. I know.
you.
I want to hear about. I want to know about you as well. It's one of them. I want to hear
Yeah.
about you.
Well, no,
Last
one like
question
that
on
is it?
that one then.
Okay.
Last question. Have you been to like Florida in terms of the land, the Star
Yeah,
Wars land and stuff like
I
that?
have. And do you know
What's your
what?
thoughts on that?
I look. Listen, I don't mind that. I think the land is incredible. Galaxy's Edge. I
Yeah,
think if you can forget that it's from the sequel trilogy and just immerse yourself in it,
yeah,
it's superb. The detailing is absolutely incredible. You know, a lot of people said, "Oh, I walked up and saw the Millennium Falcon. It made me feel a little emotional." I'm like, yeah, well,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Until you actually get there and do it, you walk around that corner and you see the Falcon there. It's
yeah,
like, wow, okay, this is different gravy.
yeah,
And you've got the cantina. I thought that was cool. Ula's
yeah,
Cantina. So we've gone in there, have a few drinks. The atmosphere in there is fantastic. But the
yeah,
detailing, the attention to the noises and the sounds that you hear in the background, the interactive that you can have
mm,
with certain bits and bobs throughout the park. It's brilliant. It really is good if you can immerse yourself in it, and that's what
yeah.
it's about. It
No, I
takes you
agree.
away from real life and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
top notch on that. I
So,
just
what about the rides? What did you think of the two rides there?
yeah, I thought
Which one?
Rise of the Resistance was probably one of the best rides I've ever been on. I
Yeah.
love that. The Smuggler's Run, I get motion sickness really badly,
Oh,
but it
okay.
wasn't going to stop me from going on there. So
Yeah.
I went on there with me and my wife. We were pilots and stuff like that. So we're
I was gonna
sitting in
say,
front.
what job did you get?
Yeah,
What job
we
did
were
you get?
pilots, and I
You're the
in the end
pilot.
I had to sit there and I was closing my eyes because I just couldn't handle it. The swinging about and the
Oh
swaying.
wow.
And
Yeah, that,
I felt as rough as
that's
a
a
box of
shame.
frogs when I got off of there. But
Oh, that's a shame.
you're not going to turn it down. I mean, as a kid, when Star Wars first come out, I was saying everybody wanted to be Han Solo,
Yeah.
and then you get a chance to sit in the cockpit of the Millennium
Yeah,
Falcon,
amazing.
and then who's not going to want to do that? So I was like,
Agree.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, loved it,
No,
loved
I
it.
agree.
Right, back onto you. When did you stop playing with your toys and become a collector?
Oh, right. I'm new to the collecting game, just so you know, guys. I was into
Seriously?
retro gaming. I was
Yeah.
collecting them for a couple of years, and it went from there. I was in some retro gaming stores, and I'll show you. I see a comic in there. I started off with the comics. This is the one. This is the comic. So that one got my attention. I was like, "Cool, I like the front of that." Never read a
Yeah, yeah.
comic in my life, so I bought that. And then after that, I thought I'm a big Back to the Future fan, so
Oh,
I picked up that comic. Yeah,
wow.
went
Yeah,
from there. Love Back to the Future. So got into comics, and then from comics, obviously you go into comic shops, you see like the Marvel, the figures and stuff like that. So then I got into the Marvel figures and toys, and it just grew from there. And all of a sudden, my mum and dad moved, like I said, a year ago. They're phoning me up and say, "Oh, we found this in the loft. Your old toys, your knights, your cowboys, your turtles." So I'm whizzed right around there, picked them all up and stuff. And then I'm thinking, I've got to get them all again. Like, I've got to get better condition. Obviously, I'd ruined my Hasbro, like I told you, my wrestlers. I wanted to get me new wrestlers, and I wanted everything carded. I wanted nice card looking smart on it. So
yeah,
that's my story pretty much in terms of only a year. And in terms of finishing playing with my toys, probably when I went to senior school, like you do, you know,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
too cool for toys and that. So when you go to senior school, so
All right.
obviously
I'll
primary
just
school,
put
I
you
was like that.
straight on that. You are never too cool to collect toys. So anybody out there
No,
thinking
not
you're
collect,
too
play,
cool,
not collect, play. Sorry, play with my
but
toys.
is it a form of playing with toys? Moving your collection around,
Yeah,
displaying it and stuff like that? Would
some
you
of my
call it a
best
form of playing?
evenings is sorting this room out. I love. There's
Yeah,
nothing better than putting on like a podcast or someone's YouTube like yourself. Just listen to that, cleaning everything, move it. Oh, it
yeah,
looks better there, looks better there, and moving it out. That's some of my favorite nights now. I really enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. I I can't believe what you've collected, and you've got that over a short a period of time. That is,
Yeah.
you've gone hardcore. You've
Yeah, I'm
gone,
a bit of a
wow.
nutter, but I'm very lucky. Like I work, like I said, I work for myself. So if I see something in a shop or want to go anywhere or take a day off and go to a toy fair, I can. So I'm very lucky with my job that I can shop a lot. Let's put it like that. And also,
That's
I know it's sort of frowned upon in the industry, but I'm murder on eBay. I live on eBay. So
oh
every
dear.
night, yeah, I know a lot of people sort of like want to collect it when they see it and stuff like that. But I'm very much no. I'm too impatient. I want it now. I want it.
No, that's
I
fair
want
enough, man. That's
one
fair
of them.
enough.
So I'm on the
Nothing
old,
wrong with a bit of
on
FOMO.
eBay every night. So
I mean,
I
the,
buy
the,
a
the
lot.
thing is, I've said many and many a time on this series, there's no right way of collecting, there's no wrong way of collecting. It's all down to personal preference
Yeah,
and what's easiest for that particular person.
yeah,
You know, I said loads of people collect, but we all do it differently. Again,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. It
yeah,
lots of different characters and stuff like that, and ways of doing stuff. So, not a
yeah.
problem. So, what do you currently collect, and do you have a focus on any particular figure line or character?
Oh, obviously anything turtles. Dick
Yeah.
Tracy, as you can see behind me, and what I
Well,
picked up
that's an
today
unusual one
on that.
because I think you're the only person I know that's got Dick Tracy.
Yeah, the
I
Dick
can't
Tracy.
think of many
That's
people.
good news for me because I'm not got no competition. So that's good news for me on that one. I've just picked up. You'll see above my shoulder there the Boglins. I
Oh,
really want
yeah,
to
yeah,
collect
yeah,
all the
yep,
Boglins. That's my
yep,
first two, but again, I'm really fussy. I want it spotless. So it took me a good sort of like year or whatever, quite a long time in terms of getting those Boglins as well. So
yeah,
I want it inch perfect. I get all protectors and stuff like that for all my stuff. I love a protector. So, but in terms of at the moment, mainly turtles as you can see, all around me.
yeah,
Me Dick Tracy. I've just got Goonies. I want to get started getting some more Goonies stuff as well. Is
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
into. I love the.
Goonies. Wow.
What was your favourite 80s film? What's the first one that comes to mind? 80s.
God, well, I would say Return of the Jedi, but then you got
Yeah.
like
No, no,
films
you
like
can't cheat
Goonies.
Star Wars. Can't
Can't
cheat
choose.
Star
It's got to
Wars.
be Goonies, then, isn't it? Goonies or Back to the Future.
Goonies. There we go. There we
I
go.
mean,
But
weren't we lucky back in the 80s with some of the
oh,
films that come out at that time?
I'm on Prime every night because you get they've got like a sale, they've got deals, aren't they, on Prime? And I'm just like 3.99, 3.99, picking up all the old movies on Prime to sit in bed, lay in bed, watch them and stuff like that, and just relax. Like the Goonies, Jaws,
Yeah,
Jaws 2, got the Back to the Future collection, stuff like that. That's anything, even like in the 90s, Hook. I love the film Hook. So to
Yeah.
get the Hook
That was,
film and stuff like that.
Robin Williams and Dustin
That is,
Hoffman, wasn't
yeah.
it?
A
Yeah.
lot of people don't like it, but it's one of my favourite films. I see that, like, you said about Christmas Eve, going out Christmas Eve. That was
Yeah.
Christmas Eve with my mum and dad, 1990, not
Okay.
two as a
Yeah.
guest, 93
Yeah.
as a guest. Sort of that era. So that was a Christmas Eve movie. So it's got nice memories going at Christmas Eve to watch Hook with my mum and dad, my brother, and then and just loving Peter Pan. And I'm a bit
Yeah.
like Peter Pan. Don't want to grow up. We're all into toys, aren't we? We don't want to
Oh,
grow up. One of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I
So
think we're all
so
like that.
so it's
So
one of them.
when it comes to collecting, are you I mean, obviously your name's Retro Bunga and stuff like that.
Bungo, yeah.
I'm guessing your preference is collecting retro toys as opposed to modern day.
I've just started getting into modern. You probably see these Goonies here, just above my head. I think
Let's
they
have a
come
look.
out like a month ago. See
Oh,
these
right.
Goonies?
Okay.
They're the new set that's just come out, which and these obviously these Back to the Futures are quite modern. So I'm open to anything that I enjoy. If it's a movie or cartoon that I enjoy, I'm up for both retro or
Yeah.
modern. So uh,
What lines are those, not Ghostbusters, Goonies?
the Goonies ones, I think
Yeah.
they're I can't actually remember. I just I've got my nerd base. I come into nerd base and see them. I think they're seven, Super Seven, or whatever it's called, off the top of
Oh, the reaction ones.
yeah, the reaction ones. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's one of them.
I
So
I I don't mind those figures because I think a lot of those card backs are absolutely stunning. And for
superb.
me, but I like the card art and the boxes that these figures and vehicles and playsets come in, and I think that's a big draw. And I've
Yeah,
got some Super 7 reaction Transformers. The
yeah,
card backs are just absolutely stunning. The
yeah,
figures are okay, the
yeah. They're
basic
basic.
5
Yeah.
POA, but I mean I keep them on cards. So but they look absolutely stunning on the card back.
Please check out those Goonie ones because they've got all the gold and the treasure around them underneath. And
Oh, have they?
it don't look good now because obviously the camera, but the uplights,
Yeah.
it glows up all the treasure, the gold, the pot of gold and stuff around them. And I love it, love all that. So
Mm.
massive, massive into the Goonies.
Because
And
you
I,
say you're like you're a big fan of anything 80s when it comes to movies and
yeah,
stuff like that. Do you think, judging by well, taking into consideration the current climate we're living in, do you think that they should leave 80s properties alone now and come up with something totally new and different
no.
instead of going back and redoing them and do you think they
Got to
should leave
redo
them
it.
alone?
Nothing good's coming out, is it? When was a good? When was the last time you thought, "Oh, that's a good film"? Like if I said to you between now and 2015, name a good film. It's hard. It's hard. You know, if I asked you to do 90s movies and 80s movies, you'd be reeling them off for 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, true.
the latest movies and cartoons and stuff. For me, are rubbish. Are rubbish. I don't know. Obviously,
Mm.
everyone's got their own opinion on that, but it's the 80s movies, the 90s movies. It's obviously we've got the memories as well. So like, I really want to get more Jaws. I really love the film Jaws. I'd love
Oh,
to get more action figures. I know they've got the 50th anniversaries coming up soon as well. There's a couple of figures
but
coming out, which I'm looking forward
oh,
to.
is it? Well, it's the 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah, that's it. So they've got a couple of toy figures coming out on that, which I'm going to be all over that as well. And I also want to, I will probably go. I haven't been to the cinema for a long time, like I say, but I probably would love to go to the cinema see Jaws because I think it'd be an older, our sort of age, sort of going to see that as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully people won't be on their mobile phones. I'd like to see Jaws.
Talking of
So
Jaws, if you get a chance, go and see the play, The Shark is Broken.
I see that. I see pictures. I haven't seen the show, but I've seen it's his son or something, isn't it? In it,
Yeah, Robert Shaw's son.
yeah, because he's a double of him,
Fantastic.
isn't it?
Oh
Have you
god.
seen it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we went the other weekend, because it was Echo, and then we got back from Echo, then we had to shoot straight back out again because we went down
Gotcha.
to the local theatre to watch it. Oh,
Amazing.
incredible. And
What?
there's a certain scene in there that they're filming and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it was just uncanny. The facial
Gotcha.
expressions, the voice, the tone of how he's I just wow, it gave me
Amazing.
goosebumps. I was, like, blown away.
Amazing.
Absolutely stunning.
Is it a copy of the film? So is the story, or is it a different story they've made?
No,
Obviously,
no,
it's just shark
so
attack.
what it is it's you've got Ian Shaw playing his dad, Robert Shaw. So
Yeah.
it's the 3 actors themselves, like, oh, I can't remember his name now, bloody hell, Roy Schneider
Yeah.
and, oh, what's his
I'm
name?
useless with names.
Richard
Useless.
Dreyfuss. Richard
Yeah.
Dreyfuss. So it's 3 actors playing those 3 actors,
Mm.
and it's in between takes of the film when they're making the movie out in the water. So they're actually because
Oh.
everybody said to Steven Spielberg, "Don't film in the sea, film it in a tank," and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So he ignored that. He filmed at sea because he wanted to make it look real.
Yeah.
And because the shark wasn't adapted to seawater. It could float in a normal water a tank of water, but when it
Yeah,
went into sea, the salt like played havoc with it and stuff like that. So the shark
gotcha.
kept on breaking. So it was in between takes and what those guys were getting up to. You saw the conflict
Oh,
between Robert Shaw
amazing.
and Richard Dreyfuss and stuff like that. You had Roy Schneider as the peacemaker getting in
Yeah,
between them and trying to. And it was just what they were talking about and doing at that particular time. So it's based on real
yeah.
life events in
Bit
between
of me
takes
that.
when the shark was breaking. Yeah, yeah,
Bit of me.
stunning.
Love
It
that.
was it
Love
was
that.
good. It was
Yeah.
very entertaining. Very entertaining. Um, do you have a sentimental or prized piece within your collection?
Oh, that behind me, the Mario, which isn't
Yeah, yeah.
obviously it's not retro, but they're really hard to get. There was a Nintendo advertisement. There's only so many
Okay.
in the world on that side of things, and the gentleman that sold it, bless him, he's passed away. So it's a little bit. He was like a retro collector and sold things and stuff like that. So it's got a
Right.
little bit
Okay.
of
Yeah.
connection with that. And for me, one of my favourite items is above my shoulder. That side. See the Space Jam. I love the
Space.
film Space Jam,
Oh,
and that
Space Jam. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cookie. That's a cookie jar. He's got the American Bugs Bunnies by him and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that Pepsi's not an actual Pepsi can. It's one of. Do you remember those puzzles where you used to put the puzzle together, the Pepsi puzzles? Do you remember
Oh,
them as a
right.
kid?
Yeah,
And there's all
yeah,
the bits and stuff. That's what that Pepsi cup is. But yeah, but Space Jam, that cookie, just because I love cookies, I'm a cookie monster.
yeah. No, fair
And
play.
uh,
Fair play.
and obviously Space Jam, so it went well together. And they're quite hard to find without chips and stuff like that. So that was a Facebook market find. That was I was well pleased.
Don't judge me,
Come on,
right?
don't tell me you
But
ain't seen
I
Space Jam.
I only saw the original Turtles movie at the beginning of last year.
Yeah,
I've not seen The Secret of the Ooze, and I've not
okay.
seen Space Jam.
No, that's fair. I must obviously when I was watching your videos, I see obviously your more GI Joe and obviously Star Wars and stuff like that. So I knew that coming in today. I knew that. So,
But the thing
but
is, though, I
we
don't
need
think
to. You need to show me your stuff, like, and I'll show you my sort of stuff, like movies and stuff like that. It's fun. I don't
this is
mind the
true.
original three on the Star Wars. I will say that. You know the original three.
Yeah, yeah,
Watched them
yeah,
with my dad. Enjoyed that. I love Luke Skywalker. Really like, but the more recent movies, the 2000 onwards, I've got to be honest, I was a little bit bored, sort of thing, one of them. So,
yeah.
but I don't want to offend all your viewers, because I know there's a lot of Star Wars fans, so don't hate me. Don't hate
We
me.
like what we like.
That's it.
Right?
Everyone's got their own interests. People won't like
You can't
turtles.
like everything. You can't like
No,
everything. We can't all like this.
no,
If we
I
all
agree.
liked the same thing and collected the same thing, it'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it? Do you know,
No,
that's how I look at it.
but
So,
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the in terms of the new things. You know that the bounty. He was a bounty hunter. What was that on Disney Plus a couple of years ago? Really
Boba
enjoyed
Fett,
that.
the
Yeah,
Book of
was
Boba
that what it?
Fett.
I'm not sure. He was a bounty hunter going out and stuff like that. I really, really enjoyed that on Disney Plus. Quite enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
there's
So
they did the Book of Boba Fett, which was
yeah,
yeah, it was okay.
no,
Again, another wasted opportunity by
yeah.
Lucasfilm and Disney, but there you go. Oh no, and then there was the Mandalorian as well. He was a
That's what I was talking about.
that's the one.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
That's the
Mandalorian.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I was talking about.
yeah.
Mandalorian. I
Decent.
quite enjoyed that. I didn't mind that. Love a bit of
Yeah,
bounty
wasn't
hunter
bad.
and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Um, do you have a grail piece you are after? And when I say grail piece, again, I'll say I don't mean the most expensive thing in the world. It could be
Yeah,
something you saw at a toy fair, you've walked past it and thought, oh, I
yeah.
might like that, and go back about 10 minutes later, it's gone, and you haven't seen it ever
Yeah.
since.
I had two grail pieces, which I've now got. It's I'm trying to find a new one now, but it was
Yeah,
two.
okay.
It was the Boglins was my grail piece, but like immaculate Boglins. I've got one more to get on the original, and there was
Yeah,
you'll see it in my games room tour. There's a big Turtles cardboard that was on the stairs. As you went up the stairs in Nerdbase, if any of your viewers go there, you'd have seen it. A big Raphael on the stairs, and I asked them for about 2 years, nagging them, "Will you sell it? Will you sell it? Will you sell it?" Because I used to go there for my retro games, my comics and stuff.
yeah,
And I used to nag them for years, and they said no. And it was one of them, every $1 million man, everyone's got a price sort of thing. And I wanted to give an offer, they couldn't refuse. But after about 2.5 years, I finally broke them and bought it, and it's standing right. You can't see it from your view, but it's right there. So that was absolutely massive for me because I'd nagged them. I'm going to Nerd Base sort of like I don't know 4 times sort of like every 2 weeks. I'm down there twice a week sort of thing. So I've nagged along. I've been very annoying. I was very annoying. I was annoying
yeah.
myself asking, and then they finally broke. So there we go.
Do you go to a store in Southend called Retro UK?
I go to the Retro Hunter. The Retro
Retro
Hunter.
Hunter, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ali.
that's it. love him. I've got a good relationship with
Yeah.
him. Really, really good relationship with him.
See,
So yeah,
Ali knows Adam Berry, and Adam
yes,
Berry goes
they're all
down there quite a
connected.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
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 yeah. I love that. So the reason why I went to that, so again, that was a big thing with the retro figures, because I'd go and get me retro games in there. I'm into GameCube, Mega Drive, GameCube as well, and Dreamcast. So I'd go in there, get me games, and I'd see the cabinets in the other room, with all like the Star Wars. You got
yeah,
your Star Wars
yeah,
in
yeah.
there, your Turtles. So I'd have a little look, and then that's what got me. That's what got me. I picked that up, and then all of a sudden you're a full time collector, and yeah, it's got you. It's got your
It
heart. Got
it
your
it
heart.
it does. It happens quickly, and you know it really does, and it's quite surprising. You start off with like just a little bit, and then a couple
Yes,
of months later, you've got like what? How's this happened? Sort of thing, and
yes,
you fall in
yes.
deep. Let's
Mm,
just talk about your gaming for a little bit. I know you said you like your retro gaming and stuff like that.
yeah.
Are you more of a retro gamer than modern day, like the
Oh
PS5 and the
yes, I've still got the
Xbox and stuff like
PlayStation
that? Yeah.
5, but yeah, I like just to show you what these are my two favorite games. NBA. So if you American, I'm a big
Okay.
American sports, love America. So
Yeah.
those all American sports, Mega Drive. I love the Terminator, all that sort of stuff. So obviously the Sonics, the Mario's, and things. So yeah, big into me retro gaming. Really, really
Yeah.
enjoy it.
But
I think with gaming, it takes your mind off things. Like when you game, you're in that world and you forget about all your the work problems and things going
yeah,
on in the
yeah.
world, and you're just in the zone. And that's what I like about it. It's my clock off time, I'd say,
Fair play.
gaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were younger, did you have limited amount of time that you could play on your
No,
games? I know
I was
you
very
no,
lucky.
you
My mum
didn't.
and dad
No?
weren't.
Yeah.
No, but I weren't. I weren't naughty or anything like that. So when like, I didn't take the mick, if you know what I mean. So and my dad wanted to watch his cowboy films, down in his nights and stuff. So I
Fair
had to get
play.
off
Yeah, yeah,
one of
yeah.
them. So when dad said it was time for cowboys, it was time for cowboys. John Wayne was coming. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them.
Yeah,
But
yeah. No,
but yeah,
definitely.
I was very, very lucky. And we had like a little games room thing and stuff. I could go up there as well late when I was a little bit older, so I could get away and do it. So
Yeah. Crikey, so different, so different. I mean, when I was younger, the first gaming console we had was the Atari,
the Atari, yeah,
and
my uncle had one of
y
them. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
we had about an hour's playtime on it. It spent
yeah.
half an hour loading the thing up,
Of course it did. Of course
like
it did.
that, and then, of course, when
Yeah,
you lost the life, you had to wait another 5 or so minutes for the game to
yeah,
reload and stuff like that, and so
yeah,
game time was about an hour, but I would get bored.
yeah.
Do you know what I
You
mean?
get,
I'd
but
I'd
it
get
weren't
proper
your
bored
thing.
with it.
What about board games then? Did you like in terms of sort of like Scribble Scramble and stuff like that? Was you into anything like that at all?
Nah, I mean, not I wouldn't weren't I mean, I liked Risk. I played Risk.
You
I
risk,
didn't
yeah.
mind Risk.
Okay.
I like
Yep.
strategy games, so Risk was pretty cool. There was a game called Generals, which was like
Yes.
an
Yep.
electronic board game sort of thing with pieces. Battleships, I quite liked.
Battleship. Yeah, I
The
love
original Dark
battleships.
Tower. My dad had the original Dark Tower. I
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
playing that. I mean, when my aunt and uncle come round of like a weekend or something like that, a Saturday night, we used to sit there and we used to get the Dark Tower out, and it was wow, the lights were down low and all
yeah.
these noises and I love that sort of stuff. I really do, and
Ghost
I don't
Castle.
think we.
Ghost
No,
Castle.
no, I don't know. No, I
No,
don't know
weren't
that
a
one.
fan of Ghost Castle. Game of
I
Life.
don't,
Anything like that?
I've never heard of that one.
No. Game of Life. Did you ever play the Game of Life where you're making money and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
I mean, I know games like the Game of Life and Monopoly and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, Monopoly, of course,
Yes.
just caused too many arguments and stuff
Oh
like that
yeah,
with my sisters.
dangerous.
I mean, my
But
sisters would cheat like buggery and stuff like that, and they blame me for it. So no, sod this.
what
But
about
yeah,
Jenga?
it.
What about Jenga? With
Oh,
the cubes and
yeah,
that. Did you like that?
no,
No, not your
I,
thing.
I know it. I played it, but again, it's a game that I didn't really sort of like pay too much attention to, sort of
Gotcha.
thing. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
but yeah, yeah. But it was when the Nintendo come out, and it was like wow, the graphics at that time,
Mm.
and even when the original PlayStation come out, the
Yeah.
PS1, I
Yeah.
was blown away by those graphics back in the day.
Massive.
I mean, that was the sort of like
Yeah.
late 90s, 97 type
Yeah.
sort of thing when that come out. Maybe a little bit
Yeah.
before then. Don't quote me, but I thought the
Yeah.
graphics on that was absolutely fantastic.
Big time. And that going back to Christmas and birthdays, that's when it was so big. Christmas and birthdays, getting those games, that new game. And if you got it wrong, that mum and dad weren't taking it back. Do you know, like it had to be good. And even if it
Yeah,
was rubbish, you had to keep playing it because that's all you got. There weren't another option. There weren't no, I will send it back to Amazon and get a refund in a day. No, that's
yeah,
what you got. And there's no updates or anything like that. It was just,
yeah.
that's the game. That's like with the blockbusters as well. When you used to go blockbusters,
Oh,
if it was
blockbusters.
if it was a rubbish movie or a rubbish game, you had it for the weekend. That's it. Game on. You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it.
Yeah,
So that's the
yeah.
same.
I
And
loved going to Blockbusters. I loved
oh,
going to that video store and getting the
amazing.
late, when because that's the thing, isn't it? Back in the day, you'd see something at the pictures or the theater, whatever you want to
Yep.
call it,
Yep.
and you would have to wait months and months and months and months and
So
months, maybe
year, a
even a
year.
year
Yeah. Yeah.
before it come out on
Yeah.
DVD,
Yeah.
VHS, and then you were straight down the video shop. Oh, it's in! Oh, brilliant! And then get
Yes.
that and stuff like that, and you
That's
just
it.
play it and watch it 2 or 3 times over the weekend, then take it back.
Big time.
Oh,
Big
those
time.
days are
Loved it.
gone. And
Uh,
and it's everything's so easy now, isn't it? It's just click your fingers
yes.
and it's there, and like,
Yes. I
oh,
think there's one more in America, isn't there? I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on it. There's one more in America, the Blockbuster, and they're obviously they pride themselves being the last remaining one and things like that in the world. So I'd like to go there just to experience it one more time. So and it's like the
yeah. I mean,
card and the taking it back, or as you got fined and things like that. When there was a bit
yeah.
of pressure with it.
Please be kind and rewind. All that
Yes, do you
sort of
remember
stuff.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
God,
how annoyed
yeah,
was you when you opened it and you had to wait for it to rewind? It's like, come on,
yeah,
rewind it,
yeah. God,
guys.
those things were slow, weren't they?
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
like start off really slowly, and then when it got towards you, and it go, and it
yeah,
would like speed up a bit. But yeah,
yeah.
oh wow,
Talking about
God,
movies, I've just got
fantastic
into.
movies.
I haven't got one, but you know, laser discs. Laser
Yeah.
disc. I never had one as a kid, and I haven't got one now. But I have bought some laser discs. I'll show you. Well, I've got them to show you. Yeah, some classics. Batman Returns.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What a
I'm a
film that
Hitchcock
was.
fan. I love my horrors.
All right, yeah, yeah.
Psycho. I
Psycho,
like
yeah,
Rear Window
decent
and all
film,
that. I love all that. And then one of
classic.
my favourite films, which is a classic '90s, the old Forrest Gump. The
Oh, who
Forrest
could
Gump.
not like Forrest Gump?
What I love about Forrest Gump is it's just the way they spin the history, don't they, and all the stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
stories and stuff.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
the
But I've
soundtrack
just
was
started getting into
decent as
that.
well.
But I can't play them. I can't. I haven't got anything to play them on. So if anyone's got a
Yeah,
laser disc they want to sell, please let me know because I'm on the
that's
market for one.
yeah. It's like my wife. I mean, she's bought a couple of laser discs. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which one she's bought now. That's gone
It's the
off the top of my
cover.
head. But
I love the covers, the big covers,
yeah,
the big back. That's why I've bought them. And obviously, but even they're quite looking at laser disc players. They're like £200, 250, I think. Can prices. They're
yeah.
quite expensive. So yeah, I keep getting.
But I
But
mean,
it's like a
those
poster.
those yeah, exactly. Yeah, film posters. I mean, how cool were
Yes.
film posters when
Oh,
back in the day, back in the
big
80s?
time, big time.
You know,
Love.
do you
Yeah.
remember the shop Athena? Athena.
Which one, sorry?
Athena, the shop.
No,
It was like
no.
they used to have a shop and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Where we were, I thought it was like might have been a
Yeah,
chain, but you should
yeah.
have all the different movie posters in there and the big
Oh,
old
I love
posters
all
and stuff
that.
like that.
Yeah,
Aliens, Alien,
yeah.
all the Star
Oh,
Wars ones,
Alien.
Star Trek ones, and
Love
Indiana
all that.
Jones, ET.
Yeah.
Oh, some absolute
I'm into me.
classics, man.
I'm into me art. I collect a lot like Jaws art and all the old classic movies, artists' drawings and stuff like that. I'm really into all that kind of thing, especially Jaws, Back to the Future. E.T. is another one I like art on E.T.
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
bike going over and stuff like
yeah.
that. I love E.T. You know, that's a Christmas special if ever I've known one. You know, E.T.
ET. Well, there's the
E.T.'s a classic.
Gremlins.
The
Gremlins, another good one.
Gremlins. Yeah, the
I mean,
Gremlins.
what we've talked about movies quite a bit in this
Yeah,
conversation.
I like
What
me
is it
movies.
then? What is it about the movies from the 70s, the 80s, the or the 90s,
Yeah,
even I'd say up to the early 2000s?
yeah.
What was the difference between the movies then to what they're sort of like pushing out
I
now?
I think the character theming, if I was to answer, like the theming, like the alien, like the shark, and the theming. It's the themes that like Jurassic Park, for example. There's
Yeah,
so much and so much you can do with Jurassic Park. There's so many toys, posters, and things, books you can do with it. You know, it's the theming, and also it was great, like with the family when you all sat down together and you watched the movie together. You've been to Blockbusters, you've come home, you've got your new
yeah,
movie, you've got your popcorn, you've got your ice cream if you've been a good boy. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's one of them. You got it's and you're excited to watch it with the family. That's what it's all about. So it's good
yeah,
memories like that for me. It's good memories like
yeah.
that. So
So, I
yeah.
mean, where do you stand on things like writing, storytelling?
I don't I like writing. In terms of I used to read a lot of books. Like say if I was talking about my books as a childhood, Goosebumps, Point Horrors. You know the horror stuff, the Goosebumps. It might be in a little bit
Yeah,
after, but I was really into Goosebumps and horrors and stuff like that. So and I like Hitchcock movies, so I read a lot of those books, Stephen King's and things
yeah,
like that. I like those sort of books. But yeah, I find I don't do it as much now, but I used to find it quite relaxing reading. Used to quite like reading to relax. So, but obviously the way life is now and with work and so, you haven't got time. It's everything's quick, go, 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 and it. So,
Yeah,
which is probably why I've got
yeah,
into American sports games because you've only got a little while and jump on, play games, and you got something's going on with work and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
yeah,
No, fair play, fair play.
yeah,
If you could go to any toy convention in the world,
yeah.
which one would it be and why?
So, uh, this weekend we've got the old NEC, haven't we? Now, the
Yeah,
problem I've got, I'm in Essex. I'm an Essex boy. The problem I've got is obviously it's going to be 2 hours, 2 hours and whatever, 40 minutes to get there, 2 hours and 40 minutes back and stuff. That's the only thing that puts me off. I really want to go this weekend, but it's the drive. It's the 5 hours of driving around because obviously got work on the Monday and stuff like that. So I don't know whether to go. I'm still debating. Do I go on? Are you going? Are you going out of
I
interest this
am. Yeah,
weekend?
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
it's
I mean, there was so we've basically hired out a hotel.
fair play. Yeah.
There's 40 of us from within our group
Wow.
of
Amazing.
people going. So last year we went, last April we went. We
Yeah.
had friends from the States come over. We had
Yeah.
friends from Ireland come over. We had friends from Holland
Amazing.
come over, Netherlands come over, and we
Yeah.
all met. And some of them, it was like a meeting for the first time. These
Brilliant.
people. I mean, there's a guy called Chris Mewa from Chasing 80s Toys. Now, I've known Chris since 2020, but I've
Yeah.
never ever met him, and he had made the effort to come over to the UK
Amazing.
last year from the Netherlands to
Yeah.
NEC. Absolutely stunning guy. What an absolute
That's the magic of
legend of
this
a
community,
guy.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the magic. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's a legend in the community called Scuba Pete. So
Okay.
he
Yeah.
came over from Celebration, Star Wars Celebration in 2023. The first time I've
Yeah.
met him. Again, just him and Leslie, absolutely fantastic couple.
Yeah.
And again, there's so many people going up there. VTR Dave, DTM,
Yeah.
Collectible, Simanga Fandanga. A lot of the people that you see on my channel and
Yeah.
in this series are going to be going to NEC. So
Gotcha.
we're going to go up there on a Saturday. We've booked the hotel room, so there's going to be at least 40 of us staying at the one hotel,
Yeah.
and then we're going to
Nice.
be going off in the morning and stuff like that, and going around NEC Toy Fair.
Go there nice and early. You all
It,
going out for dinner on Saturday night? You going out for a nice meal or anything?
well, yeah, no. So we're going to stay in a hotel, but basically, so you've got an EC. It's a massive
Yeah.
unit in the middle
Yeah.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually in the middle of like the M42 sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's nothing much around it apart from the airport. So we got about 3 or 4 sittings for dinner. So Adam Berry, bless him, he likes to organise stuff.
Yeah.
He's organised 4 different times for dinners and
Wow.
stuff like that. So we can all sit
Like a
down.
wedding, getting all organised.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna have about 10 people sitting here, 10 people sitting at that time, and
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. But we just stay in the hotel. We just talk. We talk
Just chill
toys.
out.
We talk life. We chill out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's great fun, and
Yeah.
yeah. So really looking forward to that.
So hopefully next year I'll
And then
jump
you
in,
see,
get involved with you guys on that one. I'd love to join you.
why not, man?
Yeah, definitely
Why
next year.
not?
I'd love to. Love to.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Because they do 2 a year.
Yeah.
They do
Well, I'm
2 a year,
looking
didn't they?
forward to
Oh no, the
Sandown.
next one's September.
September, which is good. Which is good. That gives me plenty of time. So definitely, because obviously Sandown's coming down. That Sandown I've just been to was my first ever one. Obviously, like I said, you've only been into it for a year, so that
Yeah,
Sandown was my first one on there, and
yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the
Yeah, well, if you
Sandown. I
like
enjoyed,
Sandown, you're gonna like NEC because it's the same
yeah,
company, BP Fairs, that
yeah,
put on these toy fairs. So NEC is pretty much like Sandown,
yeah,
just bigger,
just
more
bigger.
stalls.
Yeah, I think it's 500. It says on the advertisement, turn up
Yeah,
500
yeah,
stalls, which is
yeah,
bit of me there. I'm all over that. I must admit. So I look forward
yeah.
to
So
hunting.
they're doing another one in September, October
Yeah,
time. So if you get a chance
yeah.
to go there, that's absolutely
I will
fantastic.
be going. I'll be all out.
But
I'll be all out for that. Definitely.
MCM, have you ever been to MCM?
I have. Yes, I did. Yeah, there's a video on my thing. There's a video on my channel. MCM went with the wife. That's the comics and that, isn't it? A little bit
Yeah,
of toys which are
did
going
you
in.
go last October?
Yeah, I've got a video. It's on my channel. It's on my
Oh,
channel.
okay. Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
video
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, we went as
really
well.
enjoyed.
So
I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed that.
yeah,
I got there nice and early. Paid the extra and stuff like that. So you'll see it
yeah,
on the video. But
yeah, no,
I
cool.
enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed that. And then
Yeah. So
what I
that's
liked
good.
about that
That's a
is
good one.
they got the mixture like the comics, the toys, and
Yeah.
everything's there for you. And I like the artist bit. You know where the artists and because obviously I said I'm into my art. You had all the artists like Artist Alley, and stuff like that. I quite enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Some of that art is absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, I love it. Love
But I
all
mean,
that.
I spent most of my time around the Hasbro booth because a friend of mine, he was like helping out with the guys from
Gotcha.
Hasbro, so he
Yeah.
was there. But we're not going to go this May, but I'm thinking we're probably going to go to the one again in October.
A bit perfect. I prefer the winter. I'm
So,
more of a I like me winter with cold nights, dark nights. I
oh dear,
prefer that
no,
sort of time
no,
than the
no,
summer.
no, no, no.
No, you're more
I'm
the
a
summer. You're
warm weather
summer
mate.
the
Yeah,
beer garden,
God. Well,
beer
I'm getting on a
garden.
bit, so yeah, I need, yeah, yeah, I'm getting on a bit. So I need me warmth. We're coming up to the top of the hour. I've still got a
Yeah,
couple more questions for you, three to be precise.
go for it.
What was the inspiration for you to start your own channel? Because, like you say, you're relatively new to
Yeah,
this
very new.
collecting malarkey. So,
Yeah.
what was it that got you into doing your own channel?
So I did Twitch for quite a few years. From 2020, when the old lockdown, I went on Twitch and did gaming, not retro gaming, normal gaming, with
Yeah,
like a double act. So I was doing it every night for 4 or 5 hours and got chatting to people, stuff like that. And then went over and did my own one. And then all of a sudden I thought, I don't want to go live anymore. I just want to go out and film and take my time and stuff. I was live every single night, making conversations, stuff like that. I thought, let's chill out and relax and film what I'm doing, like retro
yeah.
toy hunting and stuff like retro game hunting. So that was the reason. So I'd done Twitch for 4 or 5 years, and it was time for something fresh and new. And I love watching all the retro retro hunters and stuff like that on YouTube. I thought, why don't give it a go? So that was and I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot.
So, what's the difference between the streaming on Twitch to doing the live streams on YouTube?
I think with the YouTube, you can take your time and get it right and stuff like that. You can. I like editing. I like sort of it's less pressure because with the Twitch and stuff like that, you're instantly chatting, you're chatting non-stop, making conversation. You're
Yeah,
also playing the game at the same time. It's a lot of work, and then I was doing, like I say, 3 4 years every night, so it was quite tiresome. Where YouTube, I can take my time, film things I like, but the community is so different because I used to do like hunting games and uh, racing car games and stuff like that, and those people were not into your Turtles, your Ghostbusters. So it was like, right, I've got to restart again, if that makes sense. Like I
yeah,
lose everybody, and I've got to find a new community. Obviously, I still keep in contact with people and stuff like that, but it's totally two different communities, two different
yeah.
things.
And when it comes to filming out in public, I mean,
Yeah.
and you seem quite relaxed and natural at doing it. I mean,
Thank you.
I personally struggle going out and filming live in public places
Gotcha.
uh, um, like toy stores or conventions
Yeah.
or toy fairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just I can't get my head around doing it. I don't know why.
Yeah. I enjoy. I actually hate doing voiceovers. Like people when you record and you come home, you got to talk about it after. Like I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
the fine example, the one at the weekend at the Enfield London Toy Fair. The only reason I did a voiceover on that one is because they had loud music blaring and obviously
yeah, yeah.
copyright and stuff like that.
Copyright, yeah,
And bless them, they said I would turn the music off. And like I said in the video, I'm not going to be a party pooper and tell them to turn the music off. No way. And I knew then I'd have to do a voiceover. So I quite enjoy it because if I'm honest, if people look at you, go, what's he doing? They're the same people that are then going home and watching YouTube. If that makes sense, that's how I always think of it. In my mind is
yeah,
someone
yeah,
gives you a funny
yeah,
look, but they give you a funny look while you're filming. But hold on, you're going to go and watch not me, but you're going to watch other YouTubers when you get home. We've got a film, so it's one of them. And I
yeah. No,
quite
that's
like
fair
getting
enough.
the natural sort of like how excited I get when I see stuff like something brand new that I haven't seen before. I like to get that honest feeling of and capture it for myself. And for
Yeah,
me, like for example, like I did a series retro hunting in America, yeah, in Florida last November. Now it's great for me now to go back and see my holiday, my retro hunting on the holiday. That's what I get from it. Like if I'm sitting there wondering, oh, what's that like again? What's that shop like? Or what was that convention
yeah,
like? And I can go back, relax. Do you know that was a great holiday? That was, or really frustrating. I'll watch them back, and then I'll spot something, and it happens in England as well. For I think for everyone, you'll see something on the shelf that you didn't spot when you were there. Oh, that's a killer. That's a killer. Oh, why didn't I spot that? One of them moments, when
yeah.
you edit in, when you get home, it's nothing worse than seeing a game or a
See,
toy that you
that's
know that you'd bought.
yeah. I was gonna say that's the thing because when I look around, when I mean, saying that, we went to Recco a couple of weeks back, and it was so packed and busy in there. I didn't really have a chance to look around anyway because you couldn't see
Yeah.
the stalls because it was so
Oh
busy.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when it wasn't busy, we sort of like gone off and got a coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
But I find if I'm at a toy fair, I want to kind of like go around and have a look.
Yeah.
And if I'm filming, I feel like I'm going to miss something.
But you do
Do you
both
know
because
what I
you do.
mean?
I get there. I always get the early birds, so I get there
Yeah,
when it's the most
yeah,
quiet. I do all my filming when I get there, especially like the retro gaming market in London can get really busy. So I get in
yeah,
there. I get down there early. I'm right at the front of the queue. Get in there, whiz round, do my filming, and then you've got all day to enjoy, your own leisure because you know you've really captured the action. You've already got it in camera.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
no, fair
if you
enough.
spot anything you didn't film, you can then go and then when you get home, edit it and put it back in.
I just what it boils down to, Nicky, is the fact that I'm just lazy when it comes
That's
to filming
fair play.
stuff.
Fair play.
That's the
I
thing.
can't argue with that.
I, and I'm so impatient as well because I'll be honest, I'm not great in big crowds. I do kind of feel
Okay.
like a sense of I get a little claustrophobic and think, hang
Yeah.
on a minute,
Yeah.
personal space.
Yeah.
And take for example the other weekend up at Echo, you're just constantly looking and getting barged and pushed and shoved and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
when it happens all the time, no one enjoys that. And I know my wife
No.
wasn't too impressed with that. But I mean, when you go to places like NEC and Sandown Park, yes, it does get busy. We get early bird, so we do manage to get
Yes.
around and look. But when we're there early bird, a lot of the people are still sitting up anyway because
I
they let the public in the same time as when they're setting up, and I
frustrates the
never can't get
hell
my
out
head
of me.
around that. Yeah, yeah,
And like I said, that was my first. I actually say in my video, the first scene, I say I don't get why they're not given 40 minutes an hour before we all turn. It's stupid that we're all walking in together. I called it out on the actual video. You'll see my
yeah,
Sandown video.
yeah,
The
yeah,
first scene, I say,
yeah,
because obviously that
yeah,
was new to me. I'd never done it before, and I thought, what the hell? Because I'm used to going to the retro and the comics all set up and it's all good to
yeah,
go, and I'm
yeah,
standing around waiting for them to set up. So, but going back to
yeah,
that pushing and shoving, the reason I left Sandown, it was about 12:30 by that time. I was done with, like walking up and down like the alleyways and stuff with the toys. It
yeah,
was just so rammed. It. I was done. I was done. I was tapping out. I was done. And for the same
yeah,
reason as you, too many people.
yeah. And it's a bit like that at NEC, although I got to say the aisles are a bit wider at
I
NEC.
see that on the YouTube,
So
on the videos, and
yeah,
that's what
so
interested me about that one was it when it's obviously Sandown's very tight. It was a
yeah,
lot less tight,
yeah.
which is
It's still a good toy fair, Sandown. It's
oh
still a
no,
good toy
yeah, I
fair.
loved
But,
it. Yeah,
and do you know what I find? I think over the last few years, these toy fairs have got a lot busier. They never used to be as busy
we've got
as what
people like
they
me
are now.
turning up. We've got new people like me, haven't you?
There you
New
are. There
people,
you are. You see, it's
new
yeah, yeah, great
fans.
stuff. Right, I've got two questions left for you now.
Yeah.
What gives you that toy collecting buzz?
Oh, thinking of the memory of me playing it when I was a kid and thinking, oh my God, I've got it again. I'm looking at it again. I can see it again and things like that. So that's the buzz for me. And
Yeah,
especially the biggest buzz is like you'll see a toy that you totally forgot about, you haven't thought about for 30 years. And then all of a sudden it's there. It happened the other day, a nerve base, there was a spaceship. And a Tommy spaceship. I had totally forgot I even had it. And when I see it, it's like magical just seeing it as thinking, oh my God. And then you flashbacks, all your memories of playing it as a kid. So that seeing stuff that bring back memories, collecting memories is the best way of wording
yeah,
it. Collecting memories.
yeah. Well, do you remember these as a kid?
Oh yeah, the paper like yeah, they'll play the planes and stuff like that. The
Yeah,
phone, they're like foam, weren't they?
yeah. Had those
Yeah,
in the 80s, and I've not seen these since I was a kid. And me and my wife were walking around the local shops and stuff like that
yeah,
in a local town, and we went into a Waterstones
yeah.
and I saw those there, and I was like, "Oh wow!"
That's
And it's the
exactly it.
first time that I actually, well, not the first time. I've got a buzz before, but that was a proper kick in the nostalgia feels. I was like,
Mm.
"Wow, that is so cool!"
And that's the
And
magic of it, isn't it?
yeah, I bought the whole lot. I bought the whole lot,
No
so I got
way.
the
You
whole set.
bought.
There was one that was missing, and bless
Oh,
her, my wife did her research and she went round and she went and found it for me. And I got home one day and she goes, "There you go." And so
oh,
I've got
mate, you
the
got the
whole
full
set now.
set.
Absolutely
Amazing.
superb. I was like absolutely buzzing. And I've so what I've done, I've kept them in like a little pot, which is like
I
they
like
were,
that. Yeah,
in the store. So
I love
yeah,
that.
proper
Are you a
buzz.
full
Yeah,
set
yeah.
collector? Would you say you're a full set collector, or you okay buying the odd
Oh
thing?
God, not now. No, not now. I can't
Not
afford to
now.
be. Can't afford to be. Yeah, I used to be a completionist.
Yeah,
Well, try to be as much as I could, but now it's
yeah,
just too much of it.
yeah,
I What I do wish is that I wish I'd have gone and collected the rest, the vintage 90 Kenner Star Wars figures 96 first,
yeah.
because some of the ones that I got left to buy are the last 17, which are a
A
fair bit of
fortune.
money. So
You
yeah,
said that on a video. I watched one of your videos yesterday, I think it was. You actually mentioned that, and I thought at the time in your video, I agree with him there. I agree with him. I wish I would have bought stuff earlier. One of them.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
have mentioned that
Because
before.
I started off collecting the vintage Kenner figures, like Star Wars. I had them as a kid. All mine went to a family friend.
Yeah,
So these ones I've got like off of eBay or at toy fairs and stuff like that. And then 2020 come along, and then everybody's bored, going
yeah,
to YouTube. And then you find out all these other toy lines that you've got, like
Yeah.
Black Series, you've got DC Multiverse, Classified,
Yeah.
um, yeah, Marvel Legends, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, SH Figuarts, those kind of figures. And
Gotcha.
I just, wow. And I
What is
like,
your favorite? What's your favorite figure from your collection? I'd be interested to know which one's your favorite.
oh, God.
What's your fave, and why is it your fave? Not just which one, but
Well,
why?
so I've got, I mean, I like a lot of like Star Wars and GI Joe Classified and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I think there's one figure that I've got, which is the sketch edition Joker from the Three Jokers.
Sketch edition, awesome. I love the sketch edition
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I've got a big thing on the Joker, and that figure is just absolutely stunning. So it's in the box, and it's still got the wrap around the box.
amazing,
I've not taken
amazing.
it out of the box, and that
No,
is absolutely that is probably one of my favorite figures.
which has
It's
shocked
so
me because I
difficult.
thought you was going to say Star Wars. I'm amazed that it was the Joker that won. It's interesting.
The thing is, I like Star Wars. I've got a lot of decent figures from Star Wars. I like the
Yeah,
figures and stuff like that. But I've so Harley Quinn and the Joker. I've got such a
yeah,
big thing for both those two figures. And just bear with me. I don't know if you've seen it, but I
yeah. Go on.
will grab it. So let's just move this out of the way. Move that out of the way. I mean, he's a great figure anyway. But yeah,
Adore it. Absolutely adore it. I've seen them in a Nerd Base. They're at the back upstairs. Those sketches.
yeah.
I've never seen that one though. They've never had
Yeah,
that in
Three
stock.
Jokers, absolutely fantastic.
Is
And a
that
good
hard to
friend of
get?
mine's, I got this, I pre-ordered this.
Mm.
So this, a friend of mine, Cy Manga Fandanga, he put me onto that.
Look at the
And
outfit. Look at the jacket and the hat and stuff.
yeah, I know, it is just so cool.
Wow. So how much do you
So
want for it?
cool.
Let's do a deal. Let's do a deal. Let's do a deal.
That's
How
not for
much do you
sale,
want?
man. It's not for sale.
Sold out.
Not for
Sold
sale.
out.
Not for sale.
Sold out.
Yeah. But when it comes to buying things like that, I mean, you touched on it earlier. You quite
Yeah.
like, or you said you're quite happy to go on eBay and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, are you quite happy to go to these stores and find things in person in the wild, or does
Definitely.
it
Well,
not really matter to
fine
you?
example. The Goonies is a fine example. Now that I could have ordered them online, and I thought, no, I'll just wait. And then they all sold out everywhere. I thought, oh, should have ordered one of them. You've missed the boat. And then all of a sudden, Nerd Base put up that they're got them in stock, and they only had a couple. So obviously, lucky with work, straight down, then whiz straight down, then picked up the full set. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool, cool. Last question for you, sir.
okay.
What does your collection mean to you?
Oh, happy memories. Really happy memories from childhood. All my favourite things I'm starting to collect and starting to see again. It makes me smile just sitting and looking. I work. This is my office as well. This isn't just like a game collector's room.
Yeah,
This is my computer for work and stuff like that. So all day when I'm doing deals and stuff on work, I can look around and enjoy those memories and things I've collected and things I've found and it's not just like obviously a lot of it's eBay, but the ones that I have found in the stores or at the cons and stuff like that, you've got
yeah.
great memories of that day. Yeah, it all comes together, all flashes together. I like that. So big time
Awesome, awesome.
memories, collecting memories.
Collecting memories. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Nicky, unfortunately, that has come to the end of the conversation, mate. I've got to say, wow, I'm absolutely blown away by you. I'm loving your energy, your
Thank you, mate.
enthusiasm, your passion.
Thank you.
You speak really well. Yeah. Where can people find you on social media?
Retrobunga on YouTube, Retrobunga on Instagram, Retrobunga on Twitter, X, whatever it's called now. So yeah, I love anything retro game, retro toys, retro figures, cons, even arcades and stuff like that. I'm into all of it. Love it all. Love anything
Awesome
retro.
stuff. Awesome stuff. What I will do is I will put the links to your media platforms in the
Thank you.
description below to this video. If you do get a chance, go and pay Retro Bunga a visit on his YouTube channel.
Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
He's got a great collection. Like I say, you're bubbly. I'm loving your passion
Thank you,
and your
mate.
enthusiasm.
It's
Absolute
emotional.
pleasure chatting
It's
to you.
been emotional. As I always say at the end of my videos, it's been emotional. I've loved every
It's
moment
been
of it.
great,
Thank you.
man. It's been
It's
absolutely
been
great. And
emotional.
look, listen, you've been collecting a year, but
Mm.
mate, what an impact you're making on the community.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So
I look
awesome
forward to
stuff.
meeting you as well. Obviously, at any season coming up and all the cons. I'd love to meet everyone.
Well, we've got the Sandown one. We've got the Southend-on-Sea one coming up on the 27th of April.
Yeah,
So
I'll be
we're
there.
going to be heading down to that. So yeah.
I'll be there. I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you there.
Likewise. Well, for those of you who have stayed to the end, whether you've watched or listened, thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.